This, right now, as we have it sorted, we just said in the work package of demolition, we have wallpaper removal, removing the wall tiles, remove the floor tiles. Okay. Then in install, for construction, understanding there's a category we can put for furniture, etc. But we have electrical, floors, walls, ceiling, plumbing. And then for what's going to be affected most by the walls, we have the countertop, mirror, vanity, painting the walls, putting in the sink and the tiling, for the rack replacement and painting. I have painting twice.
You know, not to mess anything
Yeah,
up,
they have painting twice.
but we got plumbing up there. Wouldn't maybe the vanity and the sink and all that maybe go under plumbing? Because that's why you're doing the plumbing.
Okay. You guys agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Or are you just saying yes to move on? Yeah.
No, I'll say yes because it makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a countertop too.
The funniest thing about this is it's easy to get caught up in what should go where, but I think it just shows that we are kind of understanding the concept of organizing underneath it more. It really, I mean,
For sure. For sure. What's the other thing this brings? This is like this. Let's say we were in a project meeting, and this is what we would do real world. Is we'd say, here's the project. What are the major areas that we need to focus on? So we get on the same page about focusing in on demo and construction. Then we say, okay, what are the subcategories that we need to think about? And then we say, okay, electrical, floors, walls, ceiling. And now as we're talking, we're like, you know what? What about, really, we should have furniture up there. So then you go, okay, you're right. We need to add furniture. So we brainstorm and we say, let's go ahead and add furniture. Okay, right? So now we've brainstormed and said, okay, we can't forget furniture. So we sneak that in there. And then we look at our project plan and we go, wow, you know what? For electrical, we only have lighting. I'm sure there's a lot more involved with electrical if we put our minds behind it. Maybe we want, maybe we want, I don't know, some heated tower rack, whatever it is. Or we need to upgrade, since we finally have the walls opened up, we need to upgrade our electrical system, whatever. So then we say, okay, so with furniture, we say, all right, we know we need vanity, we know we need to do some other things we haven't talked about. Floors, there's more to construction than adding the floor tiles, whatever else that is, etc. But the bottom line is, when you look at it and plan it out on paper, this gives you an opportunity to look at your project team and say, what am I forgetting? That's what I'm trying to get at. This is a very realistic example of how you get together in a project, and the temptation is, let's get started. And you just go in there, guns blazing, or sledgehammers blazing, and not think through the project. Now you need to think through the project, got it on paper, and then you're saying, okay, what are we forgetting? So now, let's assume we've brainstormed, talked all about what we're forgetting. Now, what I want you to do is think about, we then said, okay, what are all the activities? And let's just say we realize there are more activities that we missed. But let's say we define the activities. We got the WBS. I know it's flawed, but we have one. And then we said, all right, now let's create a WBS. Let's define activities. We said these are all the activities. We brainstormed a couple more. Now what we want to do is sequence the activities. So if you could, I want you to come up and sequence the activities like the wall. Can you do that? And you can include the demo in that sequencing. So move them around to sequence those activities. You can remove pretty much all of the other stuff just so that you can have some space.
Alright, it's just still 6, or?
Yeah, anything that fit underneath the walls. You know what? Do it this way. I'm sorry, do it this way. Let's remove this. I want you to go from left to right, sequencing them.
Okay.
Oh, walls, keep that.
This one?
Yep. Left to right. Okay, awesome. Go, okay, explain what you got there.
Okay, so just for walls, removing the old tiles, removing the old wall tiles, so I guess floor, I don't know, these are like the same. Just taking off the wallpaper, obviously then you want to like clean up. Then you want to paint, then put your mirror on after you painted, and then put the fixture, the towel rack fixture on the wall. I don't know if I forgot anything there, but those are just the...
Yeah, what you can do is you can put, let's just remove this for the floor tiles. And then you can sneak in the, install the countertop, because, right?
Put countertop on there too.
Because you can't, usually, you wait until you finish your walls before you do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, now we've
Well,
seen.
actually, you could remove the old one through the walls and then install a new one when the walls are painted.
That's true. So then we sequence the activities, right? So then the next logical step is to identify what all will it take to get each one of those done. So you say you remove the tile, the wall remover, you can see that's one.
Okay.
Thanks. And so then you estimate how long each one of those would take. So what you would say is you would say, removing a wall, this is going to take let's just say removing a wall tile, it's going to take you 1 day. The wallpaper,
Could take a day, depending how, I give a day for that.
okay. Wallpaper, a day?
I would.
All right, 1 day. Cleaning everything else, cleaning it all out of there, half a day, right? Let's just say half a day. Painting those walls,
Half day, half day.
half day. A new mirror install,
2 hours.
all right. So, I will make that point,
2.5?
2.5. Tile rack, for simplicity's sake, all of those, we'll just say 2 rack and everything else, 0.25. And then the countertop to put that in.
Half day maybe?
Alright.
So she has to cut it.
Okay, so now that we know how long each one of those will take, the other thing, I skipped one, but we can't really know how long it will take until we know how many people we have as far as resources, right? So based on these estimates, because I wrote a marker, based on these estimates, we're assuming we have, what, 1 person?
We're
2
doing it
person?
all ourselves.
We're doing it all ourselves.
Yeah.
So if we had 2 people on this project, what happens to these estimates?
Shave out a few hours, you can't cut it in half, doesn't work like, construction doesn't work like that.
No.
Well, some of them you can't start till the other,
And if it's a,
start
ba-
to
if it's a
start.
bathroom, you can't really have like 2 people, depending on the size of it, working at the same time in a bathroom safely, so.
You guys are all saying very good things. So there's a couple things that we could take a look at. If you have 2 or 3 people working on it, because it's a bathroom, one of the things that, let's just say, we needed to have a person go run out and get fixtures while the other person is removing the wallpaper. And while the other person is removing the wallpaper, somebody else could be removing tile. So let's say wallpaper is on the top half, tiles on the bottom half. So one person's removing that, and another person's removing the tile. While they're doing that, you have a third person that's taking out all of the debris. So-
You could incorporate.
So you can see how the more resources you add on it, it changes these times.
Now, here's the other issue, if you're contracting it out, all right? Let's say you're contracting it out, so you got one guy that's gonna come in and do all the demolition and redo the walls. All right, then you got a plumber that's gonna come in, you got an electrician that's gonna come in, all
So,
right?
so,
Yeah, a plumber that's gonna come in, all right? Now you're dependent on their schedules.
that's
When
right.
they're gonna show up, so,
And if you have this, and if you have an inspection that you need to have done,
the town,
and the guy said in the town, and the inspector will not be in until, you know, he says, I got a booked schedule, and so I can't come see you till next week. What happens to your, how does that impact your schedule? So this was originally a 3-day project, but now a major milestone activity, such as getting it signed off on, can't happen until a week later. So now that 3-day activity becomes what? A week?
yeah, 10 days.
So you have to know those things before you develop the schedule. So you have to say, what are the resources? Who's involved? I got a plumber, I got an electrician, and I'm guessing that they're all going to show up. Now, I'm not getting into contingency planning and risk. We're not talking about that yet. That's risk management. But based on your point, if you've contracted all of this out, you have to say, I need a plumber, I need an electrician, I need to get it all signed off on, I need a general contractor, whatever. But my point earlier was that if you have more resources, it will affect your duration. That's why this is after this. That's all I'm trying to say. There's a reason that this is in the order that it's in. So once you do your activity resources, then you can estimate your durations. Then you can develop your schedule. So going back to this, I can say this is 1 day, 2 days. You combine these, 3 days, 4 days. So this, now I say this is a 4-day project. That's pretty realistic for a bathroom renovation. You guys are pretty good. And so I can say this is a 4-day project. Now, when we talked about various estimating activities, you know, I can walk in and say, all right, based on previous, you know, I can start off and say, okay, this is about a 4-day project based on the fact that, you know, I don't know, I've done 3 or 4 of these size bathrooms in the past. I've seen this type of wallpaper. It's tough to remove, but it'll take a full day. And you can just kind of estimate out there and say, based on that, it's It's about a 4-day project. And a lot of times that's what contractors do. They come in, they say, look, I've been doing this, you know, I've had to rip out these ceilings in all of these homes that were built in 1960. So I know, based on that, this is about a $2,000 job. When this summer, when we had our gas, our oil, our propane converted to gas, you know, he was going house to house, utility guy, and said, you know, based on everyone else's house, this is probably a $2,000 job, you know. So then you can use other methods to get more accurate, and you can say, looking at each one of those activities, I can do some parametric estimating and become much more accurate on how long it will take me. All right. So now let's dig a little bit more. I just wanted you guys to get like a broad understanding